Imagine walking into a village at dawn. The air is still, carrying the scent of wood smoke and damp earth. A door creaks open on its hinges, revealing a home frozen in time. A half-eaten meal sits on the table, the stew now cold in its bowl. A child's toy lies abandoned on the floor. In the hearth, embers have long since turned to ash. Everything is here, except the people. Not a single soul. This isn't the beginning of a ghost story. It's the scene that greeted outsiders one fateful morning, discovering a village that had simply vanished. This is the enduring mystery of Anjikuni, deep within the stark, beautiful wilderness of northern Canada. Along the banks of the Anjikuni Lake, there was a small Inuit settlement. For generations, this was a place of survival and community, home to a people who understood the harsh rhythms of the Arctic. They were skilled hunters and fishers, their lives dictated by the seasons. The village was a familiar sight to the trappers and traders who passed through the region, a small, bustling hub of life. In an otherwise empty landscape, accounts from the time describe a thriving community of around 30 to as many as 2,000 people, depending on the legend you read. Their daily life was ordinary, a constant cycle of hunting caribou, fishing for trout, and gathering around fires to share stories and warmth. They were a part of the land, as permanent as the ancient rock and the frozen lake. Until one day, they weren't. The story, as it's most famously told, begins with a fur trapper named Joe LaBelle. In November 1930, LaBelle, a man familiar with the area, arrived at the village expecting the usual warm welcome. Instead, he was met with a profound and unsettling silence. The stillness was the first thing that struck him. The usual sounds, dogs barking, children laughing, the murmur of conversation were gone. All that remained was the whisper of the wind blowing through the empty kayaks and across the silent huts. As he moved cautiously from dwelling to dwelling, his unease grew into dread. The scene was surreal. In one tent, he found a pot of caribou stew, long since frozen, hanging over a dead fire. In another, a half-mended fishing net lay beside a bone needle, as if its owner had just stepped away for a moment. Rifles, tools that no Inuit hunter would ever willingly abandon, were found leaning against the walls of their homes. Everything was in its place, preserved by the biting cold, but the people were gone. There were no tracks leading away from the village, no signs of a struggle, no bodies. It was as if every man, woman, and child had been plucked from existence. Adding to the chilling mystery, LaBelle found the village's sled dogs, starved to death and tied to their posts, and in the village graveyard. He made a horrifying discovery. The graves had been opened, their contents removed. An ancient taboo had been broken. Something was terribly wrong, shaken. LaBelle traveled to the nearest Royal Canadian Mounted Police outpost to report what he had found. The subsequent investigation only deepened the mystery. The Mounties arrived to confirm LaBelle's account. The village was empty, a ghost settlement locked in ice. The search for the missing villagers began, a desperate effort in a vast and unforgiving wilderness, but they found nothing. No bodies, no notes, no clues, just an abandoned village and 1,000 unanswered questions. Over the decades, theories have swirled around the fate of the Anjikuni villagers, each attempting to explain the unexplainable. The most logical explanation points to a forced relocation or a simple migration. Perhaps a severe famine or the promise of better hunting grounds elsewhere prompted the entire village to pack up and leave. This was not uncommon for nomadic peoples. However, this theory crumbles under the weight of the evidence left behind. Why abandon valuable rifles, warm clothing, and food? These were essential survival items. Leaving them makes no sense, especially in the brutal Canadian winter. And it doesn't explain the empty graves or the dead sled dogs, which would have been crucial for any journey. Another theory suggests disease. A sudden, virulent outbreak could have swept through the community, forcing a panicked evacuation. Survivors might have fled, leaving everything behind in their haste to escape the sickness. But if that were the case, where are the bodies? A disease that swift and deadly would have left victims Extensive searches of the surrounding area revealed no mass graves, no signs of a panicked exodus. The landscape held its secrets tight. The silence from the land was as complete as the silence in the village. Could it have been something more sinister? Some have speculated about foul play, a massacre by a rival tribe or outsiders. But again, the scene doesn't fit. There were no signs of a fight, no bloodstains, no bodies. The village wasn't ransacked. It was simply empty. This led to darker whispers of political erasure or a secret government operation, a cover-up so complete that it wiped an entire community from the map. In the vast, sparsely populated north, such a thing might seem possible. But there's never been a shred of credible evidence, no declassified documents, no deathbed confessions. It remains purely in the realm of conspiracy. Then there are the more fringe theories, born from the sheer strangeness of the event. Some stories, likely embellished over time, mention strange lights seen in the sky around the time of the disappearance, leading to speculation of alien abduction. Others speak of a local legend, a malevolent spirit known as the Wendigo, which can have driven the people mad or spirited them away. While these ideas make for compelling folklore, historians and researchers dismiss them. They cloud the real, tangible mystery, a community of real people who are gone, and we don't know why. The truth is, historians and investigators are still stumped. Many even question the original story itself, pointing out that the first newspaper report appeared years after the alleged event, and Joe LaBelle's tale may have been exaggerated over time. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police have no official record of the incident, leading some to believe the entire event is a piece of folklore, a modern myth born from the anxieties of a vast, empty wilderness. Yet, the story persists. It has been told and retold, capturing the public imagination for nearly a century. Whether fact or fiction, the tale of Anjikuni taps into a primal fear. The core of the Anjikuni mystery is not just about what happened, but about what was left behind, an unnerving tableau of interrupted life. The cold food, the abandoned tools, the silent homes, they are a testament to a moment when the ordinary became extraordinary, when life simply stopped. It's a chilling reminder of how fragile our existence is, how easily a community, a culture, a history can be erased without a trace. The silence of Anjikuni Lake is the silence of an unanswered question. It forces us to confront the unsettling possibility that some things in this world might never be explained. The people of the village vanished from their homes, and then they began to vanish from history itself, leaving us with nothing but a haunting story. So, what do you think happened? What could make an entire village disappear overnight, leaving everything behind? The answer, it seems, is lost to the wind and the snow.